I'm Kailan, mate. I'm here from Bago. I'm here with
Robbie from Rebellion.
And we're here to talk about Strange Brigade. So, for those unfamiliar with Strange Brigade, because it's kind of flown under the radar, I think, could you talk about what it is?
Yeah, so we announced Strange Brigade just before E3 this year. It's our new IP. It's a 1 to 4 player action adventure set in the 1930s, and you're going to be battling lots of mystical enemies like mummies and minotaurs while you're going across North Africa, solving puzzles and setting off traps. And it's a really fun sort of adventure inspired by stuff from the 1930s and 40s.
And one thing that I was very curious about, so yeah, you're battling like minotaurs and that kind of thing. Will it be purely inspired by Egyptian mythology, or will we be dipping into other areas like, say, Mayans and Aztecs, that kind of thing? Or, even though I know that's South American.
There may be some mixing in there, yeah. It's very much fantastical. It's certainly not a historical game. The sort of the storyline is that there's Sateki the Witch Queen who was wiped from the hieroglyphs history, so having a bit of fun with that. I'm sure there's some other mystical stuff come into it, but it's very much going to be inspired by that side of things from North Africa.
All right, fair enough. So it's all about fighting all these beasts, and it's like 4-player co-op. I was curious if you're able to pick your loadout before you jump in.
Yeah, so the characters that you play as in the Strange Brigade are all very different. They've got different special powers. They will have different weapons in their loadout. But in the demo that we got here at EGX, I mean, we're not, this might not be quite reflective of the final game. We're still working a few things out, but you can find chests where you can change your weapons. You can change your primary and secondary. You can pick up new special weapons that have limited ammo that will run out. We're hoping to make it as varied as possible and give you lots of reasons to try the campaign with different characters. We haven't nailed everything down yet. We're still fairly early. What you're seeing there is kind of alpha. Yeah. But yeah, it's exciting, and we're hoping for a lot of variety with the combat and the weapons.
So the primary and secondary weapons can only be switched out mid-match through these chests?
At the moment, yes, but I haven't really seen the early onboarding of the game yet. I mean, that still hasn't been done, so it may be that you can do it in a session or live, but that'll be something down the line once we've done more QA testing, that kind of thing, where we work out what's best for the players, what's best for the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah. So one of the things you said was talking about the characters, how you've got this range of like 4 adventurers, like an engineer, a soldier, a native in
Maasai warrior, yeah.
Yeah. And forgot the 4th one.
Archimedes is an archaeologist, actually. Yeah,
okay.
He's more academic than the others. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all handy. They're all handy with weapons.
So one of the games that Strange Brigade reminded me of was this like kind of obscure game called Haunted Hell's Reach. One of the things I loved about that game was like the characters would just like chat on their own and like throw out one-liners, and then they would chat among each other. Will we see like inter-character banter mid-match?
Yeah, I think so. We haven't got all our voice actors and things nailed down yet, but the idea is obviously to have a really fun story to go through. Some characters are very interesting. But I don't know if you noticed from the demo, but we're really going to be driving people with a narrator from the game who's going to have this kind of almost fourth wall element to him, but very much inspired by the kind of the film and radio from the 30s and 40s. Very over the top, very British, bit of sense of humour. And he's while it's kind of obviously set during the British Empire, it's very much going to be poking fun at the sort of the British stiff upper lip type thing, and the belief, this silly belief that we had back then that we were the best and we were the ones finding all these places. And, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there is a very strong like tongue-in-cheek approach where it's just like, we all strive and win the day and that kind of thing, which is like kind of unusual in a way.
Jump into the most daring expedition in history. Rebellion presents the fearless and unflinching Strange Brigade.
Would it be a campaign exclusive to single player, or will the single player campaign be the same as multiplayer?
So the campaign will be the same whether you're playing 1, 2, 3 or 4 players. Obviously your experience might vary slightly. If you're playing on your own, it's going to have a bit more of an exploration feel to it, but we want people to be able to drop in and drop out of the game. So you could start on your own and then your friends can come join you. We're going to give you lots of reasons to replay it. The different characters, for example, have different powers that can open up different parts of the maps. That's the plan. So you might play all the way through if you're a solo player with one character and not see everything. So there'll be some secrets and that kind of thing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We may well expand and have other modes. We're looking into that as well. But at the moment, we're making sure we've got a really fun campaign that you can play on your own or with friends. And then we'll see if we want to add anything after that.
Yeah. So in the full game, will you only be able to have one player per character? Because when I was trying to demo earlier, you could have like 4 of the exact same character running around, just twins from escape from like a cloning lab or something.
Oh yeah, no, you can be, all 4 of you can be Nalangu Rashida if you want to be. You can mix it, it's totally up to you really. You know, it's not been designed where you have to have 4 separate characters. You know, you'll play differently if you've all got Nalangu, for example, her special attack is very close up. Yeah. So you'll obviously be trying to chain those together so that you're getting as many people in an area of attack as possible. But yeah, we think people will have fun finding the different tactics for the different combinations of teams. So.
Yeah, although I find it interesting that the area unlock you mentioned, how each character can maybe unlock parts of the map, might discourage that kind of gameplay, because it's always good to be able to unlock these extra areas, which you might not be able to if you don't have the right character. So,
but you can if you go back and swap characters. So it's an idea of, and obviously if you have certain team members, you can go, right, we're going to do this run and we're going to open up these areas because we spotted them earlier. The idea is we want to keep people in Strange Brigades and have a great time, and you know, we don't want to offer everything all at once. You know, people like, you know, there's plenty of games that successfully done this, like Destiny and things, where they're opening up the content gradually. Yeah. Not that we're a kind of games of service like that, but I think players like that, and you know, there's plenty of evidence that you'll see from the first parties, Microsoft and Sony, talking about how players actually like having something new to come back to. So,
like replayability, yeah. Speaking of, one common way to do replayability is like side missions. Will Strange Brigade be having those?
If you've ever played any of the Sniper Elite games, we do have what you call side missions that are within a level. It may be that kind of thing comes into this, but Strange Brigade is very much a linear game. You'll be going into and exploring, but you'll be going A to B. You know, you're trying to get to a goal, trying to defeat this person, find this item. So it's not going to be set up in a hub structure like an RPG or something where you're having to pick a side mission. But there may be fun things to do as a distraction on the side in the main levels.
Yeah, like trying to chain headshots or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a load of fun. I mean, from Gamescom, for example, and when we come here, people have really enjoyed the time battling element. We added a competition where we said, right, if you can beat this level in 10 minutes, you'll win something. And we realized people were having so much fun trying to come up with new tactics. So, you know, now we're thinking, oh, should we have a timer element that you can turn on or off, you know? So the great thing is we've got a while till we're releasing, so we can sort of look through stuff like that and have fun with it.
Yeah, like play around with like leaderboards for like time trials and things like that.
Yeah, potentially. We had leaderboards in Zombie Army Trilogy, for example, and that went down well because people were trying to steal headshots off each other. That was always entertaining and frustrating at the same time. But yeah, so yeah, there's plenty of options we're still looking into, but I imagine we'll have some kind of leaderboards as well.
Sweet. And speaking of options, will we be I know you said that you haven't fully confirmed if there's any other modes, but is competitive and last stand mode possibly in the cards?
Can't really say anything at the moment, to be honest. We've got a few things that we're mocking up, but it's my job to not announce that too early. So
yeah, that's fair. Although one type of side objective, I guess, is when I've been reading some of the press material, there's been the hint of maybe collecting treasures which are hidden away. Will they be unlocking anything?
Yeah, so there'll be an upgrading system. You're going to be getting goals, you find treasure, you also get coins for killing enemies, sort of in an XP kind of way, and you can spend that in the in-game benches to upgrade your weapons or get new weapons, unlock new weapons. Again, it's not all nailed down yet, but yeah, it's very much finding treasure, little secret areas, you know, that will be part of the gameplay for sure.
And there's like, so there's a sort of like progression system going on?
Of sorts, yes. We're still nailing that down, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of lessons we've learned from the Sniper Elite games, for example, and what people like, and yeah, we'd like people to definitely have a reason to look at their character, get excited about new weapons, new loadouts, that kind of thing.
Will new skins possibly be about? So like dressing your character up differently?
That'd be fun. I think people will ask for it, but at the moment, just the designs you're seeing there are what we're going with. Maybe down the line we'll think about adding extra character skins. Worth noting as well, we've got a Strange Brigade book that's coming out next year that will tell some of the stories behind the game, the characters, and there's potentially going to be other characters in that book too to talk about. So, you know, whether that comes part of the game, I don't know, but it'd be exciting if it did.
Oh, okay. So another detail that I noticed when I was reading press stuff, and especially on the Steam page, is while there's co-op, there seems to be a lack of local PC co-op. Will there be local PC co-op?
No, I mean, local PC co-op is not done by very many games at all. But no, I mean, our engine's built for online, so they're similar to Sniper and stuff. All the co-op will be online. There won't be split screen.
Oh, okay. Say if the type where my internet doesn't really work well, you know, I've got PC, so I think screw it, I'll just play on my own. Will I be playing with AI-controlled partners, or will I be just playing by myself?
No, you'll be playing on your own. So you'll be able to change the character as you please, but not in the game. But obviously when you're starting a session, but you won't have 3 other Strange Brigade running around with you. So it'll feel a bit different, you know.
And will the difficulty be different? Because I'd imagine playing on your own is harder than with 3 others.
Yeah, absolutely. So similar to our previous games like Zombie Army Trilogy, we scale up the enemies the more people you have. Here, for example, the balancing on solo isn't quite there yet, but absolutely will be. We've got the tech already. We'll make sure that it'll be as fun if you're playing it solo as if you're playing it in co-op, whether 2, 3 or 4.
Sweet. And in the game itself, so it is focused very much on like primary, secondary, special. Wondering if there would be mounted weaponry as well, maybe even vehicle sections?
It's not really. I mean, it's set in the 30s. They're not going to be running around in many tanks or anything, but I think it's safe to assume there won't be any vehicle sections.
Any mounted weaponry, like, say, just jump onto, say, a Lewis gun or something?
Oh, possibly. I don't know yet. I mean, I haven't seen every aspect of the game so far, but yeah, possibly.
Oh, fair enough. So what formats will Strange Brigade be released on?
It's coming to PC on Steam. It'll be coming to Xbox. We've got an Xbox One X build running here as well on the Xbox stand. It'll be coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro as well.
Mac and Linux?
Not at the moment. We have released a game recently on Mac, so this might be something we look into. But as an independent studio, we're quite stretched. Each platform requires a hell of a lot of testing and that kind of thing. So we'll see. Possibly.
Fingers crossed. Do you have a release date in mind yet?
Nothing at the moment. Just coming soon is all I can say.
And long shot, but price?
We don't have a price point yet, but you know, we're hoping to make this a fully featured game. I wouldn't expect it to be a Call of Duty price, but you know, we're not wanting to undersell this. This is going to have a serious amount of content. You know, it's from a well-known developer, so it's certainly going to be closer to a full-price title. But we haven't decided yet. We'll see what's good for the players and good for the game.
Sweet. Thank you for the interview.
All right, thank you.